Happy Sunday. This is Asia on America on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, Asia Shakur, aka Hood Oprah. Sorry that I haven't been, having my co-host Earl brought that up to my attention. Y'all might be missing Miss Ann, but she will be to join us shortly. I got the CEO of, let me get it right, Realty Premium Spring Water, Mr. Khalil, in the building today.
How everybody doing today?
Don't get on here and act shy. Don't you do it. Don't you dare do it. Before we get into the show, I want to do, of course, my couple quick housekeeping notes. As I told you at the top of the year, I was gonna start, highlighting black-owned businesses, especially restaurants around the city. And I just stumbled across this restaurant. It is called Lickle Jamaica, 620 South Fifth Avenue in Maywood. And when I tell y'all they got some good food, I'm for real. Hey boo. When I tell y'all they got some good food, y'all really need to check them out. I posted it on social media like, man, why y'all didn't tell me this was fire? And everybody in the comment section was like, yeah, that's fire. We been to long lines and stuff. So make sure y'all go ahead and check them out. So I am here again, like I said, with Mr. Khalil, the CEO of, let me put it up for the screen, Realty Premium Spring Water. He came and sponsored, the water for my brunch a couple weeks ago. I appreciate that. We met on Facebook, y'all. And like I say, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. A lot of people say that social media is a wasteland. But if you have good connections on your timeline, you can meet some dope people. And we met on Facebook and I saw that he started selling water. And I'm like, man, I've never heard of anybody, especially in my peer range, my color, selling water, everybody making t-shirts, edibles and all that type of stuff. This was a big deal, and I definitely want to have him on Hood Oprah. So say what's up to my people and don't be acting shy like you ain't crazy.
How everybody doing today? I'm Khalil. Thanks for coming out. Just a short version of myself. Um, Came from humble beginnings, I guess, and this was just something that I stumbled up on. I had a few ideas. I was just thinking of businesses to try to kind of venture off into, and I stumbled up on water. Reason being that water is kind of like a hot commodity in a sense with just time, society, or however. So I connected with these people in Arkansas who has a lot of acreage of natural springs. So I know that most of the major manufacturers that produce water, they have a lot of different varieties of water that have a lot of different elements that aren't good for us, but they're presented to us, which is contradictory in a lot of things that, all water is good, but all water isn't good. So normally for our health intake for people with, other illnesses and sicknesses and, normal healthy people, we need natural spring water from the source. So that's what I'm presenting today. Natural spring water from the source. Reality premium spring water. Look for us. We're local now. In the future, we're hoping to be national. But
Now
thanks for
we
supporting it.
we talk manifestation. Ain't no hope. We
Well, we're gonna
will.
be natural. I mean, we're gonna be national. No, I'm sorry. I got it wrong.
Yeah, that we speak positive affirmations around here. So how long have you been operating this company? And you said because it's a commodity, a great one as that, because we need water in all aspects. We need to, of course, drink, bathe, grow our crops, et cetera, et cetera. How long have you been operating, and what like really initially made you want to start and say, man, water would be the big bang?
Well, I actually my initial investment idea was gonna be tequila, and that didn't work out. And I was at the airport headed back home, and I had spoke to a gentleman, and we were just kind of like doing a little shop talking and bouncing some ideas off of each other. And when I got home, I just couldn't like shake the thought of water. So I just started researching different types of waters. Reason being that, you get really no resistance when it comes to water. From schools, from churches, from health people, from whatever. I mean, it's nothing with saccharin or anything that they can say it's not good for kids, it's not healthy for people with diabetes, it's not this, that, or the other. And I was noticing the stuff that was going on in Flint, Michigan, and then other places across the country where people had no access to water. And I was researching a couple third world countries that don't have water that's like right out in the middle of the ocean. And I figured that this would be a good thing to kind of help people, and enlighten people because after research and studying, I learned a lot, about water that I wasn't aware of.
Look at you doing stuff. I would have never thought that you knew stuff about them countries that's surrounded by water, but still had that dirty water coming through and had to drink the water that the animals bathe in. Kudos to you. So, what is the importance of having natural resources. I mean, you touched on a little bit about saccharin and health issues. Give us some reasons. My cousin say it's very good water too. Give us some of the reasons, the importance of, like you said, that third world country that's surrounded by clean water and only have that dirty water coming in. You know, a lot of people I see on the street say, I don't drink water. I only drink Pepsi. What is the real benefit that you can relate to some people about drinking water, not just regular water, but natural spring water that you said is a great health asset?
Well, we get a misconception of I don't drink water, I drink pop. I mean, water is the chemical component of pretty much everything that we indulge.
Even your
Uh,
body.
right, even oxygen. You know, and a lot of us don't know. And I guess as people, as black people or whatever, it's like a lack of knowledge with anything. Most of us are taught what someone known or thought they knew. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always the right thing. But as far as water, if I mean, a lot of people probably don't know. It's probably over 1,000 different bottled water brands in the country, and probably over 1 million in the whole world. And most of them are marketed, but in the United States, all of the waters that we know are owned by Pepsi and Coca-Cola. So quite naturally, we know what Pepsi and Coca-Cola is, major manufacturers, big box manufacturers or whatever. So you got a different variety. So we get the misconception where I only drink this, or I only drink that, or I only drink this, but pretty much it's only the same thing. It's just a different chemist or a scientist that may be adding a little more salt to this to give it some taste, or take a little bit of salt, or add a little saccharin, or add some, they do what they call reverse osmosis. Osmosis is eliminating the salts and chemicals and transferring it to make it pure. But if it started naturally pure, why would you have to make it back pure again? And a lot of people don't know that, from a lot of the things that they buy, a lot of things that they drink, because they're just, enlightening their own individual taste palettes. Natural spring water, it has a lot of benefits, health benefits, physical benefits, benefits to us that we probably don't know, and some of us probably do know. It balances out your blood sugar. It actually, it moistures, and it saturates your joints. Just to name a few. So I mean, we need water every day, whether we believe it or not.
So you touched on the big box companies and Coca-Cola and Pepsi, that they're known for, drinking pop, but they also have water. And
Right.
it in ties with this next question about the filtration process.
Okay.
Do you believe that those big box companies, because they know of the necessity of spring water, use dubious filtration processes so that we can keep coming back to buy it? Because you made a great point. Some of the water that you drink is supposed to quench your thirst. And sometimes you drink water and you still thirsty. And
Absolutely.
I mean, and it's just your opinion. I mean, I know you're not a doctor, I am, but
Mhm.
do you think that some of these big box companies put these additives in the water to keep you buying it continuously, especially in places where, like Arizona or Florida, where it's like a lot of hot weather?
Well, I mean, a wise person once told me that in this country, and I bought into this, that if you have money, you can get anything that you want. So they kind of pitch politics, they kind of pitch a lot of different things, and we buy into it because again, there's a lack of knowledge. Uh, as a competitor, I wouldn't kind of slander any other companies or anything like that, but you just got to think everything is economically based. So if I
You don't
can,
think they'll slander you if they had the
well, I
chance?
mean that's
They'll
fine.
bury you.
Well, I mean possibly, but in you kill bees with honey. So I mean that's the methods that I kind of work with. But you just got to think about, if I can present this, and perception is like 100% of everybody's everyday's deeds. If I can,
Perception is not reality, though.
well, I mean, but we all perceive what we want to perceive, and that's why we got reality water, because that's what
Okay,
I'm
good
trying to pitch.
segue.
I'm trying to pitch reality, but we get a perception of, okay, like colors might like enlighten some, taste might enlighten some, the design of the bottle or whatever might enlighten a person, but from an economic standpoint, if I can give you 17 of the same things with a little difference in one of those 17 different things, I mean, you might not buy all 17 of them, but I'm going to get 17 people to buy it. So I'm going to maximize my revenue. And that's what most companies are trying to accomplish, revenue. It's not, in this country for sure, it's not about health. They pitch health, they pitch become a vegetarian, a pescatarian, vegan, this, that, or the other. But ultimately, it's, I guess a marketing phase for them to actually make money off of quote unquote weak-minded people. And we all are weak-minded to something. You know what I'm saying? We may be weak to food, we may be weak to drink, we may be weak to whatever. So, people may say, well, I don't eat meat anymore and it makes me feel a little bit better. But ideally, you know what I'm saying? Your body is a machine. It's a program, and it's actually, you have to program, and it's based off of discipline base. So however you discipline it, you got to think about this. If you're not indulging in some sort of protein, real life protein, then you're going to naturally feel weak because you can only eat so much lettuce. You can only, and again, this is my personal opinion, but you can only eat so much tofu or so much rice or so much different things, but we're taught certain things. So if the teaching comes from somebody that we trust, then we actually will buy into it before we actually do our own personal research. So I kind of got off track.
That was good though. You because you I don't mean to interject, but you made a great point about the health and aspect of drinking water and pescatarians and everything about money. We live in a capitalistic society.
Right.
Everything in America is for profit. Even schools are for profit. Jails are for profit. Everything. So I'm not going to sit here and act like you're doing this like for we are the world. Of course you want to gain some type of monetary thing for it, but is that your focus, or within your research did you really feel like, man, this is something that I should tap into at the ground level, and I only of course make some money but also impact some real lives?
Impact some lives, because I've always thought outside the box. You get a lot of people that say, oh man, I'm too fat, I can't lose weight, I can't do this, or I'm too skinny, I can't gain weight, I don't do this, my metabolism, this, that, the other. And all of it is a myth, man. Like I said, your body is a machine. It's connected to your heart, your brain, your legs, your arms, your this, you're that or the other. And for example, people say, well, I'm going to stop eating meat and it'll help me lose weight. But some people stop eating meat and they're still that certain size, because all of it is mental. Everything in this world is mental. If you think it, you can do it. If you think it, you can be it. If you think it, you can have it. That's from losing weight, gaining weight, having muscles, having money, being a singer, being a dancer, hosting a podcast, whatever that it may be. If you put it in your mind, you can do it. And health itself, if you discipline yourself to say, for example, fitness wise, before they came up with modern medicine, before they came up with aerobics and diets and surgeries and things of that sort, I mean, how did people maintain a functional weight? You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff was just diagnosis of a diagnosis for companies to pretty much make money. Diabetes and all this other stuff. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is in the food. A lot of this stuff is in, the chemicals that we take. They give you medicine to enlighten it. And then, I mean, again, a trusted person, which is your doctor, they tell you, oh, you got 6 months to live. You're going to say, oh, well, my doctor told me I got 6 months to live. But if you believe you got 6,000 years to live, you get what I'm saying? You'll live 6,000 years. It's all in your mind. And that's like, programming and teaching your body, just like with health. If you wake up in the morning, every morning at 6 o'clock, and by 6:15, you walk around the block 3 times. And if you do that consistently for 30 days, your body has kind of became immune to that, and you're naturally going to lose weight, even if you feel like you can't.
I don't know, because I've been walking past Columbus Park every month for about a year, and I still feel the same size.
But you gotta, but you gotta have some routine.
I do it every day.
But no, it's about every time. It's your programming your body to know that at 6:15 and 19 seconds every day, I'm walking for 15 minutes. And if you do that consistently for 30 days, taking 2 days rest, you'll notice the difference.
I don't know. So you touched on some other things that I want to talk about, and it's good that you are like kind of segueing into my questions about health in the Black communities and how you say that the doctors are, and this is just my opinion, this is not a fact, they are kind of in cahoots with, big box corporations, lobbyists, politicians to sway and push things a certain way for whatever, be it population control, whatever, what have you. I don't want to get too deep off into that. But there is a lack of resources, especially like you said with the water crisis that we saw in Michigan as well as Mississippi. I think there was some in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
We have food deserts. We have big box stores like Walmart's closing. How important is it for us as a people to maintain healthy lifestyles with all of the things that we see that are coming at us? How do you think, and you, even with you programming in the 15 minutes, et cetera, how do you convey that to people who are conditioned to do what they already do?
Well, it starts, it kind of sways off into, for example, all the stuff that they talking about, these kids running around downtown, this, that, the other. Everybody's saying all these kids, but is it my kids? Is it your kids? Is it their kids? Or anybody taking responsibility for anything? If we take responsibility for ourselves individually and as adults or parents or whatever, we're responsible for our kids until they have to become responsible for themselves. It's like, when you know better, you do better. A lot of us don't want to try to know better. A lot of people act as if they know better. A lot of people buy into certain things to pacify certain situations to seem as if they're knowledgeable, intelligent, or whatever. But I mean, the deed of life is this. I mean, none of us are Benjamin Button, and I don't think we know anybody that died and came back and said, "Well, hey, Asia, I don't like it there. I want to stay here with you guys." You know what I'm saying? We won't have like church and none of that today, but just being realistic about life. If you can manifest and be whatever that you want to be, you can manifest to have whatever that you want to have. But we've been taught that, like, and I caught myself early in the conversation saying hope, and I really don't even use that word, but we hope for certain things. You can do whatever you want to do. We can be whatever we want to be. Sicknesses and things of that sort. People get diagnosed with certain sicknesses, and let's think about what went on before these sicknesses was diagnosed. For example, we'll just use chickenpox, for example. As kids at my age or whatever, everybody got chickenpox, measles, this, that, the other, and it just disappeared. At 12, I probably would have never gave it thought, but at 45 now, I think about a lot of things. So did they just find a cure for it, or was it just a test, or were we just guinea pigs, or what we just, and I use that as far as all of these medical conditions. You go to this doctor, and he refers you to this doctor, and she tells you that you have this and you have that and you have this, and we're going to diagnose this. We all know that medicine doesn't cure anything. It only puts a Band-Aid on it. It only masks it. It only whatever. And most people, when they've, for instance, put on hospice or gave diagnosis and said you got certain things, some live longer, some, die faster because it's a mental thing. You kind of worry or you think yourself into these ailments or these sicknesses or this, that, or the other. If you think realistically about just life, the only thing we know about life is what we were told. So whomever created us to create them, to create whoever, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have microwaves or what do you call them? Air fryers and stuff like that.
You got air fryer?
Yeah, I don't like it though.
Why you buy it?
Because it was convenient. It just was something,
It
was a fad. Yeah.
Do you use it?
Yeah.
I never bought one. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to act this. It's like I said, with Walmart closing, most of those are in predominantly Black or Hispanic neighborhoods, and they're saying that the stores are closing because they're underperforming, which I don't think is true. Walmart is a big box. I can't see it, but I'm not a Forbes person, so I don't know numbers like that. But with stores like that closing, how important is it now to support small local businesses? When I was coming up, a lot of the people in my neighborhood had stores and restaurants and beauty shops. We don't see that often times as much. How important is it to support, like I say, not just your nail tech or your lash girl, but something like some water that is a resource that we need daily? How important is that to make sure that we rally behind things like this to support our small businesses so that we can have to stop depending on big box stores that leave us in lurches?
Well, I mean, again, we have to, I guess we can use each one, teach one, or whatever. At some point, we need to come together. Will we all come together? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? And some people have figured that, okay, I don't need it. I don't shop at Walmart. I'll drive to Naperville and go to Target or go wherever I need to go or whatever. And that's fine. Everybody has the choice to do whatever that they want to do. But I guess us as citizens first, it needs to be some sort of kind of connection because, again, you get certain small business owners that aren't professional or whatever they're lacking. You know what I'm saying? But you got some big box owners that aren't professional and you have your preference to spend your money where you choose. But I think that us as black people, if we come together and kind of pool our resources and kind of build and grow things, I think we can have a lot of stuff. We can actually utilize the stores. We can utilize um different merchants and different opportunities that other communities have, whether it's a Chinatown, whether it's a little village, whether it's a whatever, and we actually can grow. But it actually starts, I guess, at home or within. If I teach to my family, my kids, my siblings or whomever, basically my kids, I won't say my siblings. If my household, if I pitch this to my household and you pitch it to yours and he pitches it to his and so on and so forth, and then, everybody won't buy in. But if most like-minded people come together, I think we could be successful as a race. But we have to make the change because they're stalling us out. In a sense, they're taking the stores. It's not really because they underperform and they know it's there. So, if I can't afford it, what am I supposed to do? Starve to death? No, I'm gonna go in here and steal it. That's just the law of life. So, they're gonna stall us out, and for whatever reason, some people say they're gonna use them for concentration camps when they do whatever. I don't know. I ain't psychic or none of that stuff. But what I do feel is that we see what's happening around us. So, I mean, somebody can say, well, let me get with Asia or let me get with this guy, let me get with that person or whatever. Maybe we can pool our resources and try to open a store. Will it be easy to do it? Absolutely not, because a lot of the merchants and the wholesalers won't even sell to you. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of it is about, it's like, again, and I'm going to go back to using the machine. You got your body or whatever. You got your head, you got your shoulders, you got your elbows, you got your hands. I think if we come together and try to work together to have something, we can actually revitalize our communities and exist a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to play politician or pastor or none of that.
You got your sweat and slacks on.
Well, this was, I ain't had no clean clothes, so I had to put it on.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I think, I just feel like if I govern my family, everybody individually governs their family based on us wanting to be better. Not saying what's right, what's wrong, what's blue, what's gray, or whatever. I think that we can actually put ourselves in better positions because it's only getting worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They say all the kids are this or that. Kids just being kids.
Absolutely.
Society is just being society.
Absolutely.
None of this stuff is new. It's just that we see a lot more of it now on the internet and social media and YouTube or whatever. So it's like a shock treatment when we didn't see it because like if we didn't have a TV or a radio, we didn't hear about it. If we didn't go to this neighborhood, we didn't see this.
Absolutely.
I think they're more focused on distracting us to think about things that matter but don't really matter. And, if it's 2,000 kids running around downtown, if 2 of them are yours at home and you govern them, then they won't be in the mix of it. That's the same thing as about eating healthy, living healthy, doing the right thing, you know what I'm saying, being the right person, and we can have a lot of the right stuff. Is it going to be a perfect world? No. But, it starts with whomever the leader is, whether it's the mother, the father, the brother, the sister, the dad. So I think that if we all start to kind of think for better, we can have better because we can manifest better. And then, things will be better for it. It won't be perfect, but it'll be better.
Okay, Cleo, you just came and snapped a little bit. So I want to ask a question that I asked of all the business owners that come here they say that you cannot make it in Chicago. Chicago full of haters. You can't make it here. You got people pulling you down. We can't come together. I'm quoting the people, not me, because I'm a staunch optimistic, and I believe that effective communication and with the right people, you can create real change. But the old adage, they say you can't make it here. We full of haters. What do you feel about that? Because whenever I meet somebody and they got a business, first thing I say is, you want to get on my show, because I know I have a platform and I could push it out there. I'm not saying that I am real Oprah, but I am the hood Oprah, and I will use my platform the best way I can to catapult not just your business, but you as an individual. Because, like you said, the kids running downtown, there's more to our city than what they portray. We got a lot of good people here making a lot of positive things. What do you feel about the things that they say we can't make and we are a city full of haters?
Well, I mean, it's haters everywhere, and it's a lot of haters in this city, true enough. But again, it's like you deal with what you deal with, and you choose to deal with what you choose to deal with. I mean, it's a lot of people in this world, so you don't focus on. I mean, it's like I guess your pitch deck. You pitch it to them, and then whoever buy in, whoever buy in, whoever don't buy in, they don't have to buy in. You just got to find an alternative method to go and just grow. I mean, as Chicago being a launch pad for a lot of us, we have a lot of potential, a lot of opportunity or whatever, but most people have to go other places to do other things because we have a mindset of that cutthroat, that backstabbing. But every city is the same. But you have to, I mean, again, it starts with, like I said about the family thing, it starts within. If you want different, you'll get different, whether you're in Chicago, whether you're in Kokomo, whether you're in Kansas, whether you're in Tennessee.
Where's Kokomo?
I don't know.
You said it with conviction, like
Yeah,
you've been there.
Um, yeah, but it's like, it all starts within. If I govern my pack, you govern your pack, we do whatever. I mean, the people that's gonna hate on us, I mean, you got haters everywhere. If you move to Mississippi, they gonna hate on you. If you move, so we got to kind of break away from that, especially at my age or whatever, because we're going into a transitional phase. Most of us got less days in front of us than we do behind us. So like to focus on what ain't happening is ludicrous. You know what I'm saying? We need to focus on what we can make happen and leave it for people because I mean life is levels in life. You know what I'm saying? A 16-year-old is gonna be a 16-year-old, whether they responsible for their brothers and sisters or whether they have not a worry in the world. You know what I'm saying? And a 25-year-old, I mean, it's just levels. Everybody develop and grow at their own pace, but we got to just live life on these levels and just keep whatever high power that we believe in first. You know what I'm saying? And just try to focus on what's ahead of us, not behind us, because experiences in life are just what they are. You got to go through them to get to them. I mean, go through them to go through them to get to them to the next level or whatever to be, whatever that you need to be. And a lot of us psych ourselves out and set ourselves up for failure initially in our mind because we ain't been taught to think but one way. You know what I'm saying? But we're seeing a lot of things around us that aren't getting any better. So, like I said, it starts within. So if I do it for mine, you do it for yours, and everything will be okay.
I took a couple business courses in community college. Shout out to community colleges. But what this is another question that I ask business owners about: a SWOT analysis, your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and threats. Even though this is a great product, and I feel that you will be lucrative because you can't go wrong. You need water. That is a natural resource that you need to live and grow. But what are some of the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats? Because you are sitting here, you are very educated in the field that you've chosen to partake upon. You may be inspiring the next person coming up after you. And some of us get into business haphazardly, and we don't know the pitfalls and the ins of out of creating a successful, lucrative, and long-standing business. So, what are some of the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats that you have encountered, or that you feel that you may encounter if you have not already?
I think my strengths are, I mean, from experiences, life experiences. That's the strength part because I can kind of pretty much endure anything. I've had several field businesses. I've been to college. I've been to band camp. I've been, I got some.
Wait a minute. Have you been to band camp for real?
Yeah, I've been to band camp
What do
a
you
couple
play?
times. Band.
What instrument do you play?
I don't.
Keep on going.
Uh, so I got a lot of different different life experiences, and I think they kind of develop my strengths to kind of endure um what's needed to make it. Because I had a failed restaurant. I did a lot of different stuff. I've been, like I said, I went to college. I've been in trouble. I did a lot of different things. So, and I mean, it made me who I am today. My weaknesses are sometimes I get distracted because I'm used to living a certain lifestyle, and I get sidetracked, and it's like I'd rather take a nap than work on some stuff. And that's what I got to work. That's one of the things that I got to work through, because I'm used to things going pretty much smoothly and flowing on autopilot, and transitioning into this water thing. It's been kind of a lot of ups and downs because I had some bumps and bruises. Because I mean, corporate America is kind of like the streets and other things of that. So you kind of be faced with a lot of different hurdles that you have to overcome. Um, um, but I think that's my only weakness, because sometimes I get kind of sidetracked. Um, but I feel like, like I said, and my stance is still the same. You can do whatever you want to do. This happened, and a lot of people in the beginning, because it's been a couple years in fruition or whatever, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, that's cool. It's this, it's that, and that." All then they kind of fell by the wayside. And then now everybody's trying to kind of like flutter back to say, well, that's a good idea. We want to participate. Can we help? Can we do this? Can we do that? And which is fine, because I mean, I'm a unified type of person, but it's a lot of people that didn't believe in it. They were like, well, it's a million different waters, water, this, that, the other. And after like studying and researching, I realized that this is something that we need, this particularly. And I mean, again, I'm doing it for money ultimately, because I have to provide for myself and feed my family. But ultimately, it helps a lot of people. I had a young lady call me, and and it kind of caught me off guard, because I was having a bad day, and she was saying, "What's that in that water?" And I just sarcastically was like, "It's that miracle water."
Of course you did,
Yeah,
sarcastically.
from she said, "Where you get it from?" I said, "I got it from Peter Popoff." And she was like, we laughed or whatever. And then she was like, "No, because I drank the first bottle last night, and normally I don't go to sleep till 11 o'clock." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "But I was like relaxed, and normally my ankles and my feet swell up at night, and they weren't swollen." And I was like, "Well, it's natural springboard." And she said, "Well, I read some stuff in this." And I said, "Well, naturally your body is being moisturized, so it's probably you're not getting the proper nutrients to your joints or whatever, and whatever's going on with your blood or whatever, and that could help." And she was like, "Oh, well, I need to buy more, blah, 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 this, that, the other, whatever." So we hung up the phone. She called me the next morning, like 4:30, and she was like, "I tested my sugar, and it was like 190. It's normally 180, 190 or something in the morning. And it's like 110, 115. I don't know what's this much." I said, "I told you I got it from Peter Popoff." So, I mean, again, like I said, we pitch stuff in society to say this is what's healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be healthy for you. But again, if we can sell it and you'll buy it, then that's healthy. And I'm not really trying to sell anything, but I think this is kind of, one of the added elements that'll probably help someone. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody, but someone. And I intend to, keep making the knowledgeable to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And this is like gold. Like water is like gold. Like, I was just talking to some people, and in reality, you look at it, if let's just assume that they decide to say, well, they're cutting off water access. They'll cut it off from certain entities or whatever, but they can't cut it off from everybody. I got access to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go through anybody to get it, to sell whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that'll help me to help you guys to be in a good position to actually have good water if they decide to say we're cutting off of this, or we're adding this to that, or we're doing this to that. Because there's cities in this country that don't have running water, and it's 10 miles away. They got streams and streams and streams and streams of water. So again, we know it's all economic. We know it's all by design and the structural stuff that they do to kind of like separate. And it's not, people get it twisted. It's not a black thing. It's not a blue
It's a
thing.
green thing.
It's a money thing.
All day, every day.
And like I said earlier, somebody told me, in this country, if you got money, you can get anything you want. And that's the truth. You can do whatever you want to do with some money. But in order to get some money, you got to manifest in your mind to go have it. I mean, Don't get me wrong. Everybody has to be, somebody got to be the garbage man. Somebody got to make a choice to be the bum. Somebody got to make the choice to be the doctor or whatever. It's all based off choices, but you can be what you want to be. You can have what you want to have. You can live how you want to live if you put your mind to
Ain't
it.
that a
And
rap?
health is key.
Ain't that a rap?
No, I ain't no rapper.
That's somebody rap. But I wanted to go back to what you were saying about, everything is a machine. Everything correlates with each other, your body, health, wealth, and all of that. And one of the things that you do a lot on your Facebook page is you have great little memes that are thought provoking. I know you put it out there just to get people mad.
I took them down today because I've been getting a lot of negative feedback. But go ahead.
Trust they been coming at you about them.
Man, a lot of your friends too, people that's friends of yours. So
Hey, we will not have no hood Oprah friend slander at all.
Man.
But the one meme that you posted that got hardly no information about was regarding men, and what did your mother teach you about women, and how does that affect your relationship dealings? I know we're discussing your water business, of course, but the whole show encompasses health as well, man, body, and soul. And you touched on some information earlier about heads of households, blah, 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 whatever. And that meme was very, thought provoking to me. For one, no men really commented on it. And two, I have sons, of course, but I never saw a grown man articulate that, to get some feedback from it. And you took them down. Why you take them down? Why you let them people rattle you?
Well, I don't know. I got them. A young lady. That's where I got them from. And I was just trying to, I guess have a meeting of the minds, on social media. But just like ideal, like realistically, and, my grandparents, they taught me a lot of stuff, because both my mother and father's mothers, were best friends or whatever. So I learned a lot from them, and that kind of, it was kind of a gift and a curse as far as life, because when you're exposed to certain things and then you see certain things, and then they come from an influential person or someone that you really really care about or whatever in life, and then you see the end all be all to that from them, and then you see it in another person, it's like, oh my God, or yay, that's a good, you know what I'm saying, that's a good attribute or whatever. The reality, I guess, just like, I think, it's not a bias, and some people might say it's a bias. I mean, a person that's been in a healthy, I won't even say healthy, a person that's been in a relationship for 10, 15, 20 years would quite naturally think different from a person that's been in multiple relationships for 10, 15, 20 years, just because of their experiences. And that goes just through life. But I feel like, as a man, I'm not going to lie, most dudes, I understand why women act the way they act, because us as men, a lot of us, probably about 85% of us, are messed up.
Oh, accountability.
You know what I'm saying? But again, on the flip side, it's about 85% of women that are messed up. You get what I'm saying? But it'll sound biased and chauvinistic, and you know what I'm saying, coming from a man, and vice versa coming from a woman. But it's never really slander. It's never really, it's just, I think, me personally, I'm at a stage in life where, like you said, accountability. When you meet people, and a lot of people run from this, when you're a certain age, and I just use over 35 for an example. As a male or a female, when you meet the opposite sex or whatever, or the same sex or whatever you choose to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't go in the same way that you'll go at 16 years old, because you've had experiences. You can't go into that situation the same.
I oftentimes say that maybe if we did date like we did when we were 16, we wouldn't come in with so many expectations. Absolutely. Because when you're 16, you just really talking to somebody because you like them.
Right. You just having fun, or you think that you like them or this. And I think that's the healthy mindset or mentality to have, but we don't have it. True. Because we come in as men, women, or whatever with this baggage. My wife did this, my sister did this, my baby mama did this, my daddy did this, my mama didn't do this, or whatever, this, that, the other. And he or she is like on trial, whether we want to admit it or not. And I think the key to life is if we coincide that 15, 16-year-old mindset with self-reflection or self-understanding, and that's the main thing first. I don't think nobody should be dating until they figure out who they are. So once you figure out who you are, and then you meet this other person, wherever they at, homeless, drunk, rapping, a doctor, this, that, the other. I mean, love is deep. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I always practice as I got older from just life experiences, I learned that my heart is like a valve. It pump blood. So you don't really listen to that. That's really nothing. It don't really know nothing. It's connected to your gut, which is your instincts. It's connected to your brain, which you kind of program that to believe or know whatever. And then you really don't listen to your brain on a lot of things because it could be misguided, but your instincts will never lie to you. So you know when a person is bad. People say, "Oh, I met him. I ain't know he was this." The first conversation you had with him or her, you knew that they weren't nothing, or you knew that they weren't the person that you like. But they had a big butt. They had some muscles. They
He
had
had
some
some
money.
money.
They had some. You get what I'm saying? And then down the road, I shouldn't have messed with her. I shouldn't have messed with him. And then we program ourselves again to fall for whatever we fall for, and then we get in too deep, and then we get to blaming everybody that it's this other person's fault, and then it's our fault. So that's why I say if you learn to govern yourself, take accountability, you meet a person where they are. You know what I'm saying? And you understand, okay, well, maybe I can help her, not raise her, not make her, not build her or him or whatever, but help them actually be the person that they may be, because it may be you may be implemented in their life to show them something that they didn't know, or they may be implemented to be in your life to show you something that you didn't know. And nothing is going to be easy. Everything takes some work. You know what I'm saying? If you're willing to work with her or willing to work with him or willing to work with them the way that whatever, then that's how you get or grow into a successful relationship. And a lot of us don't want to put that energy in it. It's like, especially when we get a certain age, we feel like, oh, he beat me up, or she mistreated me, or she cheated with my daddy, or this, that, the other. And now I'm gonna make her, or now I'm gonna make him be what I want him to be. And that's why a lot of things aren't healthy. That's why a lot of married couples are unhappy. They just married because I wanted to show my sister and them that we got money and we spent
Yeah.
$75,000 and this, that, the other. And a lot of single people are unhappy because they don't know what they want, but none of us really know what we want. You know what I'm saying? Until we get it. And that's the key to relationship. It's like experiences. It's just like they'll say that, oh man, you know, you probably won't make it in the NBA to be for an example. If you get to the NBA, if you play hard enough, either if it's destined for you to be there, you're gonna stay or you're not gonna stay. That's like going to prison. That's like starting at a new job. That's just like doing whatever. If you psych yourself out and say it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. But the only way that you will know that it'll work is if you put the effort into it. And a lot of us aren't putting effort into relationships and situations, and that's why we get a disconnect. So the women feel like they being slandered, or the men feel like they being slandered, and nobody is taking accountability.
Let me see. People saying something. So now the part of the show is succotash. Succotash is a native dish. Is beans and corn all wrapped up into one. It's the part of the show where I let my guests talk about anything they want to talk about. It could be funny, it could be reflective, it could be on topic, it could be whatever you want to talk about. It's the part of the show where I let the guests do their thing. And CEO of Real Reality Premium Water, it's Succotash, your show, part of the show. What you want to talk about? Tell the people what you want them to know.
I don't know. I'm really shy, so it's not a lot that I
You
want to
shy?
talk about.
No,
Yeah.
not period.
I just I just think that with everything that's going on in the world or whatever, at some point, like even if you never thought about it or if you think about it every day, we need to kind of, like I said, our main focus should be on us. And as parents, us includes the kids, the grandkids, the dog, the sickly mama, the daddy, or whatever. If we focus on us and kind of try to govern our tribe, outside of, I mean, you ain't gonna be able to get along with everybody or whatever. Everything is not gonna go the way that you want it to go. But if we focus on us and putting us in a better situation, us as a community of, I think we'll be okay. That's just the main thing. I ain't really the funny type. Like I said, I'm shy. I don't really talk a lot. I'm long-winded, but I just think that we need to kind of focus on putting ourselves in a better situation. Stop programming the kids to go to school, go to college, go this, go, if that's not for them, because everything is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you got a son that didn't do his homework for 8 years or 12 years, what do you expect him to do if you're gonna pay some money to go to college, go to sleep, because he ain't got you there? So, I mean, you need to start parenting the you and your kids to say, okay, well, my son might be good at mowing grass, so he might need to start a landscaping service. My daughter might be a good housekeeper. She need to do this instead of buying into this false premonition of let's do these things because society said let's do them. Because society really isn't for you. You are society. So nobody can program you to, like we say, run your household, but you let everybody else run your household. So if you start,
But how do we get this message? And I'm glad that you hear and you having this open type of dialogue, because for some reason people think that I'm doing this show for clout. Like, I ask people to come on, can they sponsor stuff? Can they do this? Can they do that? And it's always a hesitation. That does nothing for me to ask you to do this. I'm trying to, like you said, help us as a community. Of course I can get on here and get 2.3.5K likes if I'm on here talking about gossip or putting my business out on the streets or what happened with who shot John and why. But I don't do that for that. I do that because I find people who have water companies, who have mentoring programs, who are actors, who are doing great things in the community to show other people, like, yeah, we don't always have to do what's been shown before us. We can make it past any obstacles that we can. And people get a real negative connotation. Like, of course I need the support, but I don't need it like that. So, well, I need you to do this for me. I need you to do this for me because I'm gonna do it myself. But you touched on a very good point about us coming together as a community. And how can we do that when we on social media? This past weekend when it was hot, we got the bad big back page and the deadbeat daddy page and that page, that page. How can we move past when we got adults acting just as childish, just as juvenile as the children we say are a problem that's running downtown? How do we change this?
but this is the thing. It's like, you got to keep that. If it doesn't apply, let it fly mentality, to each his own type of thing. I mean, clearly the people that you deal with on a daily basis have to be like-minded. Because if they ain't like-minded, then you know what I'm saying. It is some kind of disconnect or whatever. But people that we deal with on a regular, it got to start with them. And then if we pass it on to our kids, maybe our kids will pass it on to whatever. But like the big back page or whatever, I mean, it's certain stuff that, I mean, we probably look, we probably didn't look, but if it don't apply to me, why am I even mad? Why does it even matter? You get what I'm saying? You got to let kids have what they have. But the problem with a lot of adults are most of them haven't experienced nothing. Now this is their time to be a celebrity. The internet makes me be somebody. I'm somebody. I ain't even focused on my kids because I want them to see my new teeth or my new butt or my new chest or my new abs or my whatever. And that's why I say it start at home. Forget all that. I mean, like, that's just like, for example, we don't know what's going on across the street. But if we see it on the internet, we don't have a conversation about it. So if we ain't paying attention, we focus on what we need to focus on. What's going on across the street doesn't really matter. They focused on downtown Chicago with the kids. Okay, yeah, 100 years ago, it was nothing to do downtown. Now, okay, the kids can go to the restaurant, do this, do that. But again, before your son, your daughter leave home, hey, John, no. Yeah, John, yeah, or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
But kids lie. I'm not excusing it, but kids lie. You was once a teenager. I was once a teenager.
It ain't.
I did things behind my parents' back with lying to them. I did.
Listen, not to cut you off.
You're
You're right.
You're good.
You're absolutely right. This ain't about lying. This ain't about being a kid. This ain't about whatever. If you tell your son or you tell your daughter, don't do something, they probably will go do it. They're going to make their choices, especially at certain ages. But again, you know what your son doing. You know what your daughter doing. You can't tell me that you don't know what they doing. If you don't know what they doing, you the problem.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because again, he an idiot or she an idiot. So when they ain't around you, they going to act like it. I'm just going to be raw. I'm just going to be raw about it. If they're an idiot, they just an idiot. But you know where they get that idiot mindset from? You, because you an idiot.
That was wrong.
You an idiot, and that go for me, her, anybody that's around. Like, nobody wants to parent themselves that's in their kids. It's like you so focused on how pretty or how thick you are or the big back page that you ain't kicking it with your kids. Because at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you should have been interacting and saying, okay, well, let me show you this, let me show you. And it ain't about no money. If you don't got nothing to teach them, show them how to crochet. I mean, whatever it is, you ain't interacting with them. It's easy for you to send them in a room or put them in front of the TV to do this and that. Now they outside. They tired of sitting in the house. You want to be with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Now you tell them, all right, you can go downtown, but don't be doing this. But you let them do whatever they want to do. They watch you do whatever that you do in the other room or hear you in the other room. They watching you. They absorbing whatever. They're a product of you. Now, don't get me wrong. If they go act really stupid, it ain't your fault. That's a decision that they made, but they learned everything from you. We learned everything from whoever nurtured us, our guardian, our parent, whoever. You know what I'm saying? So it's about taking accountability in what we do with ours. That's why I said govern ours. It's not that, you can't whatever's predestined is going to be. But if you give them something, they'll never lose it. Even if they get strayed or sidetracked or whatever, start giving them something. And it ain't even about, it ain't about say, okay, don't buy them or do buy them or this, that, the other. But you got to teach them. You ain't teaching them nothing. And you can't teach them nothing if you don't know nothing. Because only thing we was taught is what somebody taught somebody, whatever, and it wasn't even right. And most of this stuff, and that's why relationships are bad. That's why kids or whatever. And I don't think kids doing anything less than what they did when I was 16 to 15. But now you let them play the video game, and these little kids look at the video game and say, shoot 5 police officers. Mm-hmm. If you ain't telling them don't shoot 5 police officers, then they going to go shoot 5 police officers. So start just governing your stuff and taking care of your stuff, and it start with you. You know what I'm saying?
Quick one little last question. Are we ineffective with governing our communities because we are ineffective parents, and because we can't control what's going on in our household, we're unable to assist with the problems outside?
Yes, I 1,000% agree. If you, and I'm going to say you, meaning me and everybody in my neighborhood, for example, held ourselves accountable for our 2 kids, 10 kids, 1 kid, no kid, whatever, this, that, the other, it'll subconsciously just work itself out. But ain't nobody doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to blame you as the mama and the daddy that you have to go to work or have to do this or have to do that or whatever. But you still have to make time because, you got some people that work themselves to death. You got some people that just do whatever that they do. You got some people feel like that this is this and this, and we gonna lack somewhere. But again, if you got the time to lay down to make a kid, and then you say, I got 9 kids, now I got to work at McDonald's, Burger King, 6, whatever, to take care of these kids or whatever. You should have thought about that. But I ain't blaming you if you didn't think about that. Now that it's happening, you got to make some preparations or hope and pray that off of your decisions, because it's your fault, just like it's my fault for having 16 kids, or it's his fault for having 25 kids, or my mama's fault. You know what I'm saying? If everybody took accountability right now where we are to fixate it and do whatever they do, because I remember as a kid going to work with my mama or doing whatever, you got to govern yours. Whatever sacrifices got to be made. If you get fired because you got to worry about your kids, you should have thought about that when you and Leroy or you and Chanel laid down and had them kids.
I mean, it ain't that cut and dry, but you do make a very good point. It's not that cut and dry, but you do make a great point. Before we get up out of here, you done came in here with this sweater and these slacks. I ain't think you had it in. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little worried. I'm like, you gonna come in here and cut up, but you was really on your PIBI. One more shout out for Reality Premium Spring Water. I'm gonna put this up here. I'm not gonna lie. Since I found out you had this water company, I've really been pushing this to all my friends, everybody that I know. This is, and I'm of course I support all Black businesses, all small businesses in Chicago and around the country. If I see something that I like, I definitely want to put my stamp on it. I'm going to start one of them. These are my favorite things, like Oprah used to do for Christmas when I get my weight up, you know what I'm saying? So I can have things and, spotlight these businesses and have pass outs to sponsor really, really great dope events. And I really wanted to make sure that I let my people know the importance of your product and for us to stand behind. You had dropped a video about water being the next big war. It's a commodity, and like gold, like oil, and pretty soon we're going to be fighting for resources, be it electricity or water, not even understanding that water currency backs electricity. So if we run low on water, that will cut down our grids and our circuits. a lot of people don't understand the importance of it. Even with you saying these big box companies having these impurities, they could start giving us anything, and we're gonna be scrambling and drinking. And I think that as a community, especially from coming from out west, where they say all we do is wear pellies and hair color hair, that we stand behind and rally behind a good product. We stand behind everybody with their lashes and their drinks. But something of importance, I think that it was really good for me to have you come on here, do
And I
your thug
appreciate it.
thizzle, point it down, especially with you coming to support and sponsor my brunch. Before we get up out of here, let these people know where they can get this water from, how to get in contact with you. You got some raw merch. You didn't bring me a sweatshirt. I'll let that slide. But go ahead and
I got you. I got you some
go ahead and
t-shirts.
tell the people where they can get this water from.
Okay, we at realitypremiumspringwater.com, the website. We're on all social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, not Snapchat. Reality Premium Spring Water. You can find us. We're working now to get in some of the major stores. I'm at a lot of local stores, but now
Tell them where you at locally in the stores.
it's a lot of them. Normally the west side. I haven't migrated to the south side yet, but that's in the works. And then be looking for me this summer. I got some things up. I'll probably be standing by the nearest expressway with some water for you. So support me.
Stop telling stories.
Seriously though, I think I'm gonna do that, man. I think I'm gonna group me some kids up, man, and myself and get out there. I mean, and just do it and kind of give something back. It's like a little market.
If you do something with them kids, count Hood Oprah, and you definitely got a tribe member in me.
But you got to stand on the side of the exit by the expressway.
Now I'm not doing none of that. I will probably buy your coolers and ice, but I'm not standing out.
It's okay. I mean,
I'm not standing out on no expressway now, especially no hot water, no hot weather.
It's okay. Just put a tank top on.
Nah, once again, I do appreciate you coming through. I really, really do. Like I said, I'm going to stand behind you as a product. This is my second case I'm buying. Everybody that I talk to, I let them know about your product and stuff. What's your website? You didn't throw your website out there.
realitypremiumspringwater.com. Check us out. You also, like I said, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Or if you got any questions, you can call 855-415-8918. Again, realitypremiumspringwater.com. One word, Reality Premium Spring Water. And I appreciate everything. I appreciate you, Hood Oprah, for having me. I appreciate it all, and I look forward to working with you guys.
We ain't give your shout out to your young man. He's so dope up in the what's his name?
His name is Stevie, man. That's my
Stevie is
that's my assistant.
He's an awesome assistant, an awesome young black man. Like I say, we always accentuate the negative and we do not do enough of promoting the positive. That's an awesome young black man right there. Happy Sunday. This is Asia on America on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm Hood Oprah. As always, I love y'all.
Take it easy.